Alright everyone, welcome back to another episode of ApeCoin TA. If you're new to the channel, warm welcome. So in this video we're going to be talking about how our trade, we did a leverage trade in the last video, panned out. We're going to check out how Ape is performing against the US dollar, the BTC pair as always, and we'll be wrapping off with the Bitcoin dominance and how this is likely to affect ApeCoin and specifically ApeCoin against Bitcoin. Let's jump right into today's video. So like I said last video, we were sitting at approximately $5.80, and I told you that I was entering a 10x leverage trade down here. This was a 10.3% move, so this was just over a 2x trade, and within 2 days you can see we came right down to the price target, $5.20. We had this price target because when we do zoom out, you can see the previous lows down here sitting right at about 5.19 or so. So very nice, we literally hit the nail on the head. We came right down to 5.16 and we've started to bounce since then. So while we can bounce in the short term, I don't necessarily think ApeCoin is going to remain bullish. Now, we flipped bearish for a plethora of reasons back here. You know, we were just getting battered against the EMA ribbons. There were tons of bearish technicals in the chart. I'm not going to run through, what we did in last video, but specifically it's looking a little bit worse now. Obviously, I don't need to tell you within the past 8 to 12 hours or so, the crypto markets have been taking a massive tumble. Bitcoin taking the lead on this, or should I say the CPI numbers taking the lead on this, bleeding into the stock market, making the dollar run up, which negatively pulled Bitcoin down. I think Bitcoin is coming down to 28,600. Could we see a bounce from there? Yeah, we definitely could. In fact, since my video this morning, it came down to 28,800, so we almost hit the target. We do have a massive breakdown on Bitcoin, which I do not think is good. I think this is definitely going to bleed over into a lot of the altcoins and a lot of the crypto markets. I'm going to talk about how this is likely to pan out on the Bitcoin dominance a little bit towards the latter half of this video. But now we've come down, we hit my trade. So first of all, congratulations to everyone who did jump into this trade. I was out, I went out and watched the movie tonight, so I wasn't actually on my computer when we did come down to $5.20, but I did let everyone in the Discord know. So shout out to everyone who's in the Discord. If you do want these time sensitive information when I'm not at my computer or when I cannot post momentarily, then make sure to join the Discord. The link is always in the description of all of my videos. So yeah, like I said, definitely check that out. I posted the trade in my altcoin alerts channel as well, so I know a few of you jumped into this, a few of you let me know over on the Discord, so congratulations to all of you. Lovely trade on this. At this moment in time, there's not another trade right now setting up that I think we should pan out, because for example, we have had a pretty brutal day today, and while it's slightly off topic out of the realm of Ape, the dollar's going on a massive rampage. Pair this with the fact that the stock market had a massive drop today, and that's not even mentioning the Bitcoin dominance going on a massive rally. So all of these things in tandem is just not good for ApeCoin. Bitcoin going down by itself is not good for altcoins at all, but Bitcoin going down and the Bitcoin dominance going up is a double no-no for altcoins. So literally the past month, I've been telling you these altcoin positions are going to get a lot worse. If you are DCAing right now, I do think you are setting up to be slaughtered for the next leg down. That's just my opinion. But it's really not looking good. Bitcoin dominance looks like it wants to take the roof off and go on a massive rally. This is going to mean that Ape against BTC is going to massively capitulate. Now, in the last video, I also gave you a price target for the Ape BTC pair. If you've never looked at an alt BTC pair before, this is simply how your altcoin is performing against Bitcoin. So instead of quantifying, how many US dollars is your altcoin worth, we're quantifying how much is one ApeCoin against Bitcoin, because if you're in the crypto markets for the long term, it is of my opinion that you should be looking at how these altcoins are performing against Bitcoin. What is the point in buying an altcoin that is not outperforming Bitcoin? You're taking on tons of exogenous risk that you could have just mitigated by buying Bitcoin, especially if that altcoin's underperforming against Bitcoin. So I'm not going to be perma bearish on ApeCoin. In fact, I was very bullish on it back down here about, well, this was on the BTC chart, but I flipped bearish, or more specifically, we took profit at $23.98. Since then, we've been sitting on the sideline. The only trade I've had since then was this short, so this panned out very nicely. Like I said, this is really your last line in the sand. I do need to mark this as green for support. I always mark the orange, the orange horizontal rays these are Fibonacci levels, so you can see down here 3.618. This is going to be a massive level of support, but you know, these orange lines here are Fibonacci's. So this low, $5.20, absolutely needs to hold. If we start capitulating below 520, we've obviously hit this price target. So I still do have this macro price target down here. I talked about this a little while ago. In fact, I talked about it all the way back here. I was predicting a 47% drop down to 420. You can go check out my videos. I believe I made it on the 19th of May. It was called ApeCoin to 420. So far, we've gone down almost, well, 34% approximately, rounding it to the nearest whole number. So I still do think we've got a little bit further to go on this chart. You know, like I said, we were predicting almost a 50% drop. We've only got about another 20 to go. So at this moment in time, keeping it super short and sweet, $5.20 is the target to keep your eyes on. If we continue to have our momentum indicators like the squeeze bomb trickle over in favor of the bears, if we keep on getting bearish volume starting to engulf like we've been seeing today, it's really not going to fare too well over on ApeCoin. Let's check out what the volume's been like over on Coinbase. Brutal amount of volume coming in here, 757,000 sold on this particular 4-hourly. The last 4-hour, almost 500,000 sold, and at this moment in time, this candle's been open for approximately 2 hours and 50 minutes, and we've had about 88k Bitcoin traded to the upside, which is, ApeCoin traded to the upside, but nonetheless, I really don't think that this is going to hold us up. You can also see this was another reason why we did flip bearish. We had an inverse head and shoulders, which is a bullish sign, bear in mind, but we had the inverse head and shoulders. We came up to the EMA ribbons, got rejected. So, you know, once we came back for the shoulder, this is when we wanted to break above the neckline. We didn't do that. We whipped up to it, got rejected, moved down. That was a failed move. I always say this, a failed move equals a fast move in the opposite direction. What did we do? We had the failed move, we M'd out, and we propelled ourselves to the downside. I mean, you can look at this. This was, I don't even need to fact check what happened here. I'm telling you, this is when the CPI numbers came out. ApeCoin down about 4% in a 1-hourly candle, tons of volume coming in. Since then, we've been trending sideways, and I imagine if we go down to lower time frames, it's not too much of a bear flag, if I'm honest. Like, this doesn't really look like a bear flag to me. In fact, it doesn't look like a whole lot of anything. Doesn't look like we're panning out too much at this moment in time. So right now, I really do just think we are probably going to chop sideways. We might come up to these higher prices, which is why I'm saying at this moment in time, I wouldn't dream of having another ape short. I think we should sit on the sidelines because it is potential we could come up to some of these higher price targets like 540 on the 1-hourly time frame before we come back down for another leg. 4-hourly time frame, you know, it's not out of the blue to say we might be coming back up to maybe 570, because bear in mind, a lot of the time you have these mass capitulations, you bleed out sideways for a couple of days, you have a fake out, lower high, break down, sideways, fake out, lower high, capitulate. So this is kind of what I foresee panning out over on ApeCoin. As always, I will keep you updated when I do see another trade panning out for ApeCoin, but at this moment in time, I would not, you know, be putting myself in a leverage trade. However, that might change if you do have a mass capitulation below 520, 519, but approximately the lows down here at 515. I really don't think we have anything. There's nothing below there. In fact, you would be in price discovery to the downside. You know, if we flip this chart, remove the drawings, put this on the inverse scale, you can see, you know, imagine previous all-time high, came down, new all-time high, came down, accumulation range, and now it seems like we're getting ready to break up to this new all-time high level. So this leg down here is your all-time high in the inverse chart. So this is your all-time low in the regular chart. I find it much more easy to spot lows and market structures when I inverse the chart. If you're wondering sometimes why I do this, it is because of that reason. So like I said, 515, last line in the sand for the USD pair. You'd really want to see a bounce up at some point soon. Like I said, we might come up to some of these higher prices. In previous times where we had mass capitulations, it looks like we came back to the 618. Yeah, look at that. Perfect eyeball. I've eyeballed so many fibs in my life, but yeah, we literally came right up to the 618 Fibonacci on this move. So after having this massive cascade, you know, it could be possible. Let's see where the 618 lines up with. 618. is going to be coming into your EMA ribbons, and a lot of the time we do come to the top of these. So in the next couple of days or so, you know, don't be surprised if ApeCoin maybe comes back to, you know, $5.80, $6. Maybe we could come back up to $6, which is your 786 Fibonacci. Bear in mind, if we do pump up to the 786 and then we have another move down, that is basically, you know, you having a run up, you've broken down, you bounced up, you know, you're getting rejected from the 0.5, moving down, getting rejected from the 0.6. We didn't quite make it here. I overshot it a bit. We actually came to here, so we didn't actually quite make it to the 0.6. Break down, and then if we do come up to the 786 and get rejected, that is, in my opinion, going to allow us to have enough momentum to propel ourselves down to $4.20. So like I said, at this moment in time, I would not be shorting this. I would be sitting on the sidelines. We could have a dead cat bounce. I would not be willing to even long this into the 4-hourly EMA ribbons, 1-hourly EMA ribbons, let alone the daily EMA ribbons. So like I said, USD pair, that's all I've got. Squeeze Mom is really, really not looking good. It looks like we're gearing up for the start of another bearish trend. And bear in mind, the daily Squeeze Mom has only just started to trickle back down to the downside, so this can get a lot more rough. ApeCoin BTC, your last line in the sand is your 786 down here. And just like I predicted in the last video, this was going to come down about, well, 16.5%. I fat fingered this a tiny bit, so I might need to readjust it. But this... Let me get the approximate value actually. So it seems like the top is all nice and cushy, down to the bottom, bada bing, bada boom, and we have the correct price target. So yeah, it looks like we came down to the 786 here. Wow, this is not good on the Bitcoin pair as well. I just noticed this, you know, capitulation, 786, textbook rejection from the 618, and now we're moving down to the 786. So it seems like, you know, as I always say, in a lot of these altcoin pairs, the BTC pair will be a leading indicator of what is likely to happen. And on the BTC pair, we've already come up to, you know, these 786 fibs and start to trickle down. So we might be having a drop before, you know, a lot quicker than I anticipated, really. And to be honest, when I was predicting this move down to 520, yes, I kind of foreseed it playing out in the next couple of days, but the CPI numbers really, really pushed it down a lot quicker than I anticipated, which is great because, like I said, we literally made, well, this was a 10.3% move, so, you know, times that by 10, it's just over a 10x, or sorry, not a 10x, we were using 10x leverage, it was just over a 2x return on that trade. So once again, congrats to everyone who did that. The BTC pair, I do think we have, oops, from the last video, like I said, we predicted about down to this 786, this was a 17% drop. We're down about 10%, so yeah, I really do think we can go a lot lower for this. And bear in mind, the only next level down, because at this point we would be in price discovery to the downside apart from this mint wick. These are basically your all-time lows, as you can imagine it. Apart from this, we've just got a straight wick up on a 4-hourly candle. So the next line down would be your 1.618 against Bitcoin, and as of this time, let's mark this as orange because once again this is a Fibonacci. From where we are at this moment in time, you know, we predicted this move to happen. Once again, this was a 61.4% drop. Now about a 56% drop. So I do still see this panning out. I do see ApeCoin going down a lot more against Bitcoin and the US dollar. USD pair 420, the BTC pair to drop another 56%. I'm not going to read the exact value. You can pause the video and screenshot it if you want. Just a bunch of zeros, 7881. But that being said, I literally just want to spend, you know, 20 seconds to kind of reiterate what I've been saying for the past month. Bitcoin is not bullish. The crypto markets are not bullish at this moment in time. I wish we could be moonboy bullish 24/7. I really wish we could, but this is not the case. This is not how these markets work. These markets are cyclical. If you zoom out, you go to the monthly time frame on Bitcoin, you know, you look at this chart, you can clearly see we have these cyclical markets. You know, if we put this on a log scale, get this chart back, we have these boom, bust, boom, bust, boom, bust, boom, bust, boom, bust cycles. And at some point, we are going to be gearing for that next leg to the upside. I think we should be waiting for a trend reversal. We should be waiting for signs that we are breaking bullish. That doesn't mean that I'm not DCAing Bitcoin. I am DCAing Bitcoin down. I said this in my last videos, but 25,000, 24, 23, 22, all the way down to 19 is where I have my buy orders in increments of $1,000. That being said, Bitcoin looks like it wants to break down. The dollar is heading up on a massive rampage. The stock market is going down. The Bitcoin dominance is going up. If I just mentioned one of these things, none of these are bullish for ApeCoin. The Bitcoin dominance going up is not bullish for ApeCoin. The SPY going down is not bullish for ApeCoin. The dollar going up is not bullish for ApeCoin. So at this moment in time, lower price targets are probably still in play. $4.20 is what I've got on my mind. Hope you enjoyed today's video. As always, Cowboy out. Peace.